thanks to the U.S. Consulate. Give them a round of applause. Well, they are in the middle of like a shutdown crisis, but now we're still having this show, so thank goodness. And we also have to thank your teachers, right? Because you are one of these hula dance class schoolmates, so to speak.
Yes, I was part of a Hawaiian culture and dance class here at HKU, and it was held by Ian Chu and Eva Falk.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the president and vice president of the Hong Kong International Hula Association. So, yes.
And today we have much honor that we can invite Jeff Peterson. He's a Grammy Award-winner and also the Nahoku Award-winners. Nahoku is like the Hawaiian Grammys, 4-time winners. And he's been teaching at the University of Hawaii about guitar, and he loves slack key guitar because we were just talking about Maui, right?
Yeah.
And then you've been to Maui.
Yes,
yeah, and I also been to Maui, that the area he's been growing up. His father is a cowboy, and slack key guitar is actually sort of brought by the Mexican cowboys from the West Coast to Hawaii. And then this open key guitar tuning has been one of the styles. Once you hear the first note, aloha, and you'll be like in a melting atmosphere. So without further ado, shall we invite Jeff to come on stage and let him bring you an hour of slack key Hawaiian music. And he's not just a Hawaiian musician, he's been integrating like jazz and classical and even Japanese bamboo flute. We call it shakuhachi, right? And he's been doing a lot of these great alchemy. So a round of applause. Mahalo for coming to Hong Kong U.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. How have you been doing?
I'm doing great. Aloha, everyone. How are you?
Let's do a more interactive. Aloha!
Aloha!
Yeah, it's the way to say it. Aloha! Yeah, it's more like it.
Very nice, very nice. Well, it's such a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. What a beautiful day. You notice I brought some of the weather from Hawaii with me.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
And as was mentioned, I grew up on the island of Maui, high up on the mountain of Haleakala, which means house of the sun. Haleakala is house of the sun. It's a dormant volcano, and there's a beautiful crater on the very top. And I hear that you've actually been up there.
Yeah, to see the sunrise at 3 a.m. until 5 a.m. It's freezing cold even this summer because it's higher on the 10,000 feet. Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of great music from Jeff, and later on, if you're interested, there are some selections over there for the CDs, and then you can also get an autograph from Jeff after the show. All right.
Great, great.
Okay, so let's have the music on.
Yeah, I'd like to start by playing, letting you know a little bit about this tradition. So this style of slack key, what it means is the guitar is tuned in various ways. So you loosen or slack the tuning key. And the guitar was brought into Hawaii in the 1830s by vaqueros, Spanish and Mexican cowboys. They came to Hawaii because King Kamehameha was given cattle on Big Island. It's the main island of Hawaii. And they needed to manage the cattle population. So they brought in these ranchers from Mexico. And that was the first time the guitar ever traveled to Hawaii. And this very, very unique style developed about the 1830s, tuning the guitar to various tunings. Okay, so when I play the open strings, it's actually tuned to a chord. And so right away the guitar sounds nice the way that it's tuned. So I'll start out with a tune that I wrote called Aluna Ahi Ahi, which is about the rising sun, which is something you'd see in Haleakala Mountain. you so much, or as we say in Hawaii, mahalo, thank you. So that was a song that combined some of the traditional elements of the style of slack key with some contemporary ideas. And what I'd like to do is play a little bit for you, and I'll talk while I'm playing. I'll speak and just kind of let you know a little bit about what this music is, how it came about. And so there's something that's really the heartbeat of the music, and by tuning or slacking the low strings down to lower pitches, I'm able to get a wider range of sound on the guitar. And the heartbeat of the music often comes from a bass line. It's this pulse that goes by. And then melodies are built on top of this. There's a sense of beauty that reflects the beauty of the Hawaiian Islands. A relaxed sounds that is, the Hawaiian's called nahe nahe. It's soothing. So I'll play some melodies, but the bass line is the heartbeat. It's always there. Chimes, these ringing pitches. But always the bass line remains. Sometimes the bass line moves a little bit. Sometimes borrowing from the vaqueros that came, you'll hear strumming. Thank you. Thank you so much. So that's a little bit of the essence of the sound of slack key. And if you look at the Hawaiian music before the guitar was brought in, before the vaqueros came in the 1830s, Hawaiian traditional music was often chanted. There's something they call oli. Oli is a way of chanting. The Hawaiians didn't have a written language until they had Western contact. So they would recall their genealogy, their family heritage, any sort of story or history was all told through chants. And so I'd like to play a piece that I wrote based on a very early Hawaiian chant that's called Wahine Hololio, which is about actually riding horseback. Wahine is a woman, Hololio is to ride the horse. And I'll play the original chant so you get that in your ear, and then I'll do more of the contemporary setting. As I was speaking, I just changed the string. So all of a sudden, all the fingerings are different on the guitar by doing that one thing. And now when I strum, it has a very different sort of sound. It's a minor key. So this is a song called Wahine Hololio. Here's the melody of the chant. So this is the ancient Hawaiian music. you. Ooh, it's a little warm today. I'm trying to hide but I'm not getting a lot of shade. Anyway, so from this tradition of that was a very old sound, the antiquity of Hawaii, this beautiful, they call it mana. It's a spirit that we all have within us. If you think of everyone is carrying a bowl with them, and there's this beautiful light. And as you live, and there's a sense of aloha we have in Hawaii. It's a way of life. It's a sense of being kind to other people, appreciating where you come from, knowing what came before you. And your kuleana, your goal in life, is to keep that light alive in your bowl, and that's what keeps aloha alive. And you can really sense it in a song like that. You can sense the mana, the spirit there. So as the Western instruments came in and influences came into Hawaii, Hawaiian music was influenced by things like swing and vaudeville and music from across the United States and even Europe. And so I'd like to next play a song a little bit more from the hula era, as hula dancing began. And at the end of the program today, I'm going to invite a wonderful hula halau, or a group of dancers from right here at the university. And so you can imagine the palm trees swaying, the beautiful breeze, we call it the trade winds, which help to keep you cool. I feel a little bit of trade winds here from Hong Kong. You're right on the bay here, right? And so you really feel the sense of aloha in a different way in this sort of music, the hula music. And so I'm going to do a medley of a few of the very famous hula songs. The first one is from my hometown island of Maui. It's a song called Puamana. Puamana is a beach village out towards Lahaina, one of the most beautiful beaches on earth. It's really amazing. And then from there, I'm going to go to the island of Molokai, which is one of the least populated islands. There's only one traffic light on the island, and most people who live there want to take out that traffic light. They don't want a traffic light. I used to go over from Maui on a little boat my cousin had. My dad, my brother, and I were crazy. We go across the channel on this little Zodiac boat. It takes us about an hour, and we get to Molokai, one of the most sleepy, dreamy islands I've ever been to. It's really a wonderful place. So this is a hula medley. All right, thank you so much. So that's a little bit of the sound of the hula music. So how many of you are dancers out there? Who's dancing hula? Okay, I see one. I saw you had a ukulele. Ukulele is an instrument that was brought to Hawaii by the Portuguese. And there's an instrument called the braguinha that was brought in. And the ukulele developed from that instrument. It's one of the most famous instruments that you know from Hawaii. So aside from slack key guitar, we have ukulele. Another thing that's very popular that was created in Hawaii is a steel guitar. If you've ever heard that sound, it's a very traditional sound. It's a flat guitar, electric guitar, and you use a metal bar to play melodies on it. And I really enjoy playing that instrument as well. Next, I'd like to do a piece of mine that is a little bit of a hybrid. I mentioned this influence of the vaqueros coming in, and so I love music from South America, and I think we have some links between Hawaii and South America with the Portuguese influence. The Portuguese also settled in Brazil. I recently did a month-long tour in Brazil, had an incredible experience there. And I'd actually like to play next a piece that I wrote called the Aloha Tango. So it's a little bit of a Latin-inspired sound with Hawaiian music. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much. The Aloha Tango. I didn't make it to Argentina on my trip to South America, but I'm actually going back to South America next March, and I'm excited to see Argentina. So now I'm going to change a few strings. As you can see, I'm loosening tuning keys, slacking strings. There are about 50 different tunings that are commonly used in Hawaii. And each one, the guitar has its own sort of personality and resonance. It's really amazing, all the differences in sound you can hear. And this particular tune, you're often tuned to a different key. If a song's in the key of E, you'll do an E tuning, or C, or G. This is the open D tuning. So when I strum the open strings, I get a big sounding open D chord. And have any of you seen a film called The Descendants? George Clooney? They did a film shot in Hawaii, and I did the soundtrack for the film, and I did 5 songs, and it's a very different role for George Clooney, who's usually a very cool movie star and action flicks and everything. He played actually what we call a kama'aina, a local Hawaiian man, wearing his rubber slippers, like, you know, the sandals, and his aloha shirt, and just a very, you know, your typical Hawaiian man. And it was really a fun project to work on. And so I'd like to play a song from the film, and it's on a CD of mine called Maui on My Mind. And growing up on Maui, it's often a place that wherever I travel, I always have Maui on my mind. So this song is called Hawaiian Skies, and we often have skies like this where it's nice and clear. Actually, I expected when I got here to Hong Kong it to be kind of cold, but I guess I was wrong. So a song called Hawaiian Skies. Thank you so much. That was actually the song as I originally wrote it and recorded it. But for the film, I worked directly with Alexander Payne. He was the director. He also did a film called Sideways. I don't know if any of you have seen that. It's great. A very funny film about Napa Valley and wine. But he actually, with a music editor, took that song. You can do amazing things on a computer these days. So they put the song into the computer and cut the middle, put it in the beginning, changed the key, did all these things and sent it back to me. And that's how I recorded it for the film. I went back in and re-recorded the song. Next, I'd like to play a little bit more of a contemporary piece to give you an idea of kind of where the tradition of slack key is going. And you'll find these open tunings all over the world. Wherever the guitar traveled, it's very common for people when you first pick up a guitar, if you play the Spanish tuning, I'll hold down a few strings, this is what the Spanish tuning would sound like. It's kind of hard on your ear till you hold down chords. It's an amazing tuning. You can play in any key. It's very versatile. But as guitar traveled to different places around the world, from Spain, it was very common for people to experiment, just changing a key here and there and getting to these open tunings. What makes slack key is not just the tuning. There are many unique Hawaiian tunings, but it's also the phrasing, that sense of aloha in the music. And this next piece I'd like to play is also for my CD, Maui in My Mind. And it actually was written by a friend of mine who lives in Japan. And many Hawaiian hula dancers are now in Japan. Hula is very popular there. This guitarist named Kotaro Oshio wrote this song in an open tuning, and it's called Aurora. So if you can imagine the Aurora Borealis, the northern lights, If any of you have ever been able to witness that, it's one of the most amazing things you'll ever see. These incredible colors flashing across the sky. Of course, Hawaii, like Hong Kong, is a little bit too far south, right, to be able to see the northern lights. So I had to imagine this. But when I grew up looking up at the stars on Haleakala Mountain where I grew up, it looks like a cloud sometimes, but it's actually the Milky Way. They put some of the world's best telescopes in Hawaii because of visibility. There aren't lights. The nighttime sky is just radiant. It's absolutely amazing. You look up at the stars and you feel like they're a lot closer. So anyway, imagine that as you listen to this song. This song uses some contemporary techniques. I'm going to use both hands to play notes on the instrument. And it's a piece called Aurora. Thank you so much. A piece called Aurora. Could you imagine it? Could you see the colors in the sky? If you look on online, I think it's called Vimeo. There's, of course, you know of YouTube, right? There's another video website called Vimeo. And a friend of mine who did this amazing, amazing photography, slow exposure photography of the Northern Lights, set my recording of that song to it. So look on Vimeo, look up Aurora, and my name, you might be able to find it. So I'm going to change tunings once again. I'm actually raising some strings, and I'm going to lower my bass string. Listen to how low that is. Down nice and low. This is a tuning that's called Si Wahine. And as I mentioned before, at each tuning, the guitar has a sort of different resonance. That last piece that I played at, this wide open sort of range. This particular tuning is very traditional. You hear it very often. And I'd like to play a piece that actually I wrote from a very special person. It's called Kahealani, which means a call from the heavens. Thank you. Thank you. A song called Kahealani. Thank you. Well, next I mentioned that this is Paniolo music, Hawaiian cowboy music, the slack key. And my dad was a wonderful cowboy. He worked first on the Big Island, where the art of slack key began, at a place called Kahua Ranch. Then he moved to Ulupalakua Ranch up on Haleakala Mountain, then finally Haleakala Ranch, where I was born and raised. And so my backyard was the entire mountainside. I was so lucky. We had horses, I could go riding all around. We had keys to get all the way from about 3,000 foot elevation all the way down to the ocean. So I could just ride horseback all the way to the ocean. And if you ever have a chance to visit Maui, it hasn't been developed very much. It still has a sense of how it was for a very long time. There are the cane fields there from all the sugarcane plantations, the beautiful, beautiful scenery, not too many buildings. And so I'm very fortunate that now I live on the island of Oahu, where Waikiki is in the big city, a little bit more exciting. But I still have my ohana, my family still lives on Maui, so I'm able to visit them often. But I'll play a piece actually that's a little bit more of the traditional cowboy style, and it's a little bit what they call kolohe, rascally. The Hawaiian cowboys really know how to have fun. For example, my dad, he was managing the ranch, and payday back in the early days, they would give the cowboys their paycheck and a shot of castor oil just to kind of coat their stomachs for the weekend. So the real adventurers over there. I spent a lot of time outdoors on camping trips. We used to go fishing off these cliffs. If you've heard of extreme sports like snowboarding and skateboarding, this is like extreme fishing, where you'd cast down a giant cliff and catch these giant fish and have to haul them up the cliffs, the rocky cliffs. But I felt by being that way, and something in Hawaii we really appreciate is nature. Really getting outside, enjoying being outdoors, and really connecting with the land. And there's a saying in Hawaii, it's malama aina, take care of the land. And it's something that we all should do and all care about, because we only have one earth, right? So we have to protect it. But anyway, when you hear this song, it has a little bit of you might, if you've ever heard bluegrass music or country music, think of cowboys, and that's kind of where this comes from. And what I'm imitating on the guitar as I play this is riding full blast down the pastures of Haleakala on horseback. So you hear the horse galloping along as the song goes. It's a song called the Kukui Nut Run. So the Cowboys would say, woo-ha! Thank you so much. So you can hear with Hawaiian music, there's quite a variety of the sound, from real upbeat, fun music like that to the real nahe, soothing, relaxing music. And it's great if you're ever stuck in traffic, you can listen to some Hawaiian music and it just calms the soul, soothes the soul. It's, like I said before, nahe, this relaxing sound. And there's, actually, believe it or not, my grandfather was born and raised in Shanghai. So I've always had a real appreciation for Chinese culture, and this is my first time here in Hong Kong, and it's an absolutely gorgeous city, really amazing. I'm excited to look around a little bit when I have some free time. But my grandfather, his family goes back generations in Shanghai. His great-grandfather was the very first to bring Western medicine to China, and they founded a university that was called St. John's University in Shanghai. And I was able to go there about 5 years ago for the first time. I'm the first person in my family to go back to Shanghai since my grandfather left in the 1930s. And I had pictures that he got from his parents, the first graduating class of St. John's University in 1885. These very old photographs that were very carefully protected, brought with my grandfather when he had to run for his life basically in China during a war. He made it to Hawaii. He went to Harvard University, got a medical degree to follow in his family footsteps in medicine. But I took these photos back to China, and when I was performing there, and I did my research, and I felt like a history detective. I found the school. It was still there, and they haven't changed the campus. There's a tree tunnel in the middle of Shanghai with all the buildings around. There's this beautiful tree tunnel, a big grassy lawn, the original buildings, just like in the photographs. And so I was crying, I couldn't believe it, I found it. And my grandfather, he passed away a few years ago, so I felt like I was with him there. And there's a song that he used to play a lot that I loved hearing growing up. And we have a flower, the jasmine flower in Hawaii, and we're very grateful for the molihua tea and the beautiful jasmine flower. We call it pikake in Hawaii. Pikake is the name, the Hawaiian name that a Hawaiian princess actually names the jasmine flower, and it caught on because she had white peacocks in her diamond head home. So pikake came from the white peacock. And Princess Ka'iulani, she would have been the next queen of Hawaii after Liliuokalani. She was going to be the queen. So I'd like to do a slack key Hawaiian-style version of this wonderful song from China that my grandfather used to play for me when I was very young. He would play harmonica, because that was very popular in Shanghai, believe it or not, in the 1920s and 30s. So a piece called Molihua. You guys might know this one, right? Thank you. a Chinese song, Molihua. I didn't hear anyone singing along. Were you singing along? That's what I always order here whenever I go to restaurants. My favorite, the jasmine tea, is so good for you, yeah? In Hawaii, we have mamake. We have another type of tea that's it's good healing. It's like medicine. So do any of you have any questions about Hawaii or Hawaiian music? Do you like the sound of, yeah? Have any of you ever seen hula dancing before? So what I've been doing today is kind of a small part, but a very important part of the heritage of Hawaiian music. There's a lot of vocal music and singing. There's this beautiful poetry in Hawaii. It's called kauna. And so a songwriter will write lyrics, but there's a hidden meaning under the lyrics. And the song might be about a flower, maybe the pikake flower, but it's really about a loved one. So there's a way of expressing love through poetry in Hawaii. So I'd like actually to do a few more songs, and then I'd like to, I'm going to sing one song. I'm not a great singer, but just so you have a sense of sort of the Hawaiian language and the way that it's sung. And then I'd like to invite the hula halau up to perform. So the song that I'm going to sing is written by one of the contemporary, he's like a living treasure in Hawaii. He's a dear friend of mine. His name is Dennis Kamakahi. And he wrote, I mentioned the island Molokai with no traffic light, just the one traffic light. This song is about that island, and it's called Wahine Ilekea, which I'm a fair-skinned Hawaiian. This is about a fair-skinned woman. Wahine is a woman. It's good to know that if you ever go to a restaurant in Hawaii, that you'll see signs Wahine and Kane if you go to the restroom. Kane, of course, is man. Wahine is a woman. So a song by Dennis Kamakahi about the island of Molokai called Wahine Ilekea. So a vocal song, Hawaiian lyrics. Poli o Molokai no kaheke Nani vale no na vai lele uka o hina o haha o mo'oloa na vai e kolu I ka ulu vehi vehi o ka malo I ka malie Ua ka laulu ma ke kai O hono uli vai Wahine Ilekea I ka poli o Nani vale no ka aina halawa Home ho'okipa a ka malihini Aina ulu vehi I ka noe ahi ahi Ua lave mai Kamakani ho'olua Ua kalahunu makekai Ohono uli vai Wahine Ilekea I ka poli o Molokai no kaheke All right, thank you so much. So that's the sound of the Hawaiian language. It's a very beautiful poetic language when sung. So at this time, first of all, I'd like to say a mahalo to all of you for spending the afternoon with me. I'm very glad the shade came here. My prayers were answered. And I'd like to thank Hong Kong University for having me here, and also the American Consulate for all their efforts to spread aloha. I see a beautiful aloha shirt back here, and even a kukui nut lei that this gentleman's wearing. I played that song Kukui Nut Run earlier, and kukui nuts, this beautiful nut, you see those dark, the lei is the wreath around, and then there's shells in the middle, the ni'ihau shells. But the Hawaiians used to use the oil from the kukui nut to light lanterns. It was very useful. The Hawaiians knew how to use just about every plant in the islands. They lived off the land. But next I'd like to do another one of the hapahauli songs that I mentioned is a very popular form of music. This happened in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Hawaiian music really traveled all over the world. There was a radio show called Hawaii Calls that was an international program that really made Hawaiian music famous. Also some famous actors like Bing Crosby and Elvis Presley portrayed roles in Hawaiian films and sang Hawaiian music. And so we're going to do a song that's called the Aloha Week Hula, and it was written by Jack Pittman in the 1940s. There was a weekly, actual annual hula celebration. The Aloha Week was a festival in Waikiki, and they had a song contest, and this composer actually wrote the song for the song contest. It didn't win, surprisingly, but later on it got adapted as a theme song. So this is the real traditional Hawaiian style. I'd like to welcome the hula dancers to the stage. Right here from HKU, from the university. Yeah, cheer them on. Come on, you guys. Yeehaw. Wow, they're so beautiful. Awesome. So we say that in Hawaiian, before you start a performance, I'm going to ask them if they're ready, and I'm going to say this phrase. And if you guys don't know the answer, it's I. Ho'o mau kau kau? All right, there you go. Little hula flits, and hula skirts, winking at the boys in aloha shirts. That's the way we do the Aloha Week Hula. Around the aisle, mile by mile, take a detour, Hawaiian style. That's the way we do the Aloha Week Hula. For a brand new step, you can try to match tutu walking in the taro patch. Clap your hands, the music is grand. Do an ami for the boys in the band. Beat that drum, dum-de-dum. Wiggle in the middle, it's a lot of fun when you learn to do the Aloha Week Hula. Little hula flits and hula skirts, winking at the boys in aloha shirts. That's the way we do the Aloha Week Hula. Around the aisle, mile by mile, take a detour, Hawaiian style, when you learn to do the Aloha Week Hula. For a brand new step, you can try to match tutu walking in the taro patch. Clap your hands, the music is grand. We do an ami for the boys in the band. Beat that drum, dum-de-dum. Wiggle in the middle, it's a lot of fun when you learn to do the Aloha Week Hula. When you learn to do the Aloha Week Hula. All right, bravo! That was awesome. Thank you so much for performing, and I'd like to say aloha. Thanks for being with me this afternoon. I have a website if any of you want to hear more of my music. It's jeffpetersonguitar.com. And if any of you want to learn slack key, I've written out many pieces that I'd be happy to share with you. Just send me an email. I have some CDs that are for sale on the stage. I don't have all my CDs. I was just touring in Singapore and Jakarta. But I have a brand new release called Mamo with a wonderful Hawaiian singer named Nathan Aviao and a CD of mine called Slack Key Travels. But thanks again, mahalo and aloha.
Mahalo, Jeff Peterson from Hawaii. Celeste, how do you feel about your performance just now?
I feel good. I just want to say thank you to Ian Chu and Eva Falk from the Hong Kong Hula Association for teaching the class. It was a lot of fun.
It only takes 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this kind of performance, which is good, right? They're kind of like very, very engaging, spontaneous. And if you want to join another round of GE Hawaiian culture or hula dance course, check out semester 2. Okay. Well, I want to say here now, and we want to invite our performers today, okay, to take a group picture with Jeff and also the teachers, Ian and Eva. Shall we have a good round of applause for inviting? Also, Ian is also our alumni community too, okay? And then we also like to invite the representative from the U.S. Consulate, Adeline, please. Please have a round of applause. Last year we have Mr. Peter Yarrow coming here to perform, and this year we have Jeff Peterson. And we also like to invite our Dean of Student Affairs and Director of General Education, Dr. Apichal, and also right here, right now, to present a souvenir to Jeff while we are taking this group picture. We have a well-traveled plug for you, Jeff. I know you travel around the world. Yeah, you can charge your music all the way. Okay. All right, thank you again for joining us today, and then let's have a group picture. Do we need to get closer together? Yes. Okay. Mahalo. This is the word we learned. Mahalo. Mahalo means thank you. Mahalo. Mahalo. One more. Mahalo. And as we said, we have some CD selection from Jeff. If you're interested, please go to the stage right to check out. And also Jeff will be here to sign your autograph and share some aloha spirit with you on this special Green Monday. Green Monday means we have vegetarian diet every Monday. Thank you. Yes. And for some kind of advertising, the GE is a credit bearing program unit since 1995. In late October, 24th to 26th, we're going to host Changemakers Confest. And on 25th and 26th, we have free festival all around the campus, especially Centennial campus. And especially on Saturday from noon to evening, we have free concerts around the campus, also art jam, art exhibitions about new spaces and also the sustainability and also the new entrepreneurship, social enterprises. So check out our Facebook and GE. And if you have missed some part of this concert, we have filmed the documentary and we're archiving on the GE website very soon, okay? So see you there and go to our Facebook and like it, all right? And aloha and mahalo again. Cheers. I don't know you have this.